got matched on like her first attempt, like her first application, and she got matched. So it's not easy. People should do it.
Scores matter. That's the truth. Scores matter, but it's not like that's not the one decisive factor. For me in particular, being honest, I did not get my target scores. Having people who write very strong in terms of recommendation for you goes a very long way. Do you know places that are IMG friendly? Yes. There are tools. We have Residency Explorer, we have Match a Resident. Now
Okay, so I don't know if we've already spoken about like practical tips for preparing for exam, like materials, all of that kind of stuff, or some things that they can always find.
well, yes, they can always find, but I can just mention like basics for everybody is getting UWorld for each of the exams.
Okay.
Yes, UWorld is like that's the active question bank, online question bank that's required. Step 1, step 2, step 3, like all the steps. And because I think I've had people ask me intermittently, maybe because it's also expensive. It's one of the things that adds to this 20k cost.
Okay.
So sometimes people want to do the offline version because I think subscription for about for 6 months is about $416. I may be wrong, but it's slightly over $400. So sometimes people want to do the offline, but I've just realized like the offline version, I don't recommend offline version. Like active subscription is the best because it tells you how you're performing in each subject. And all of that gives you your average percentile against like the average, general average. It just keeps you on your toes and you're able to actually pinpoint what problem areas you need to work on. So UWorld definitely for step 1, at least the basic things, UWorld, Boards and Beyond videos and first aid, USMLE first aid. So those are the 3 materials. But the constant is really for subsequent ones is mainly having UWorld. For step 3 you need UWorld and NCCS cases.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So we're talking about exams, which obviously is like the most important thing because yes, if you don't pass, every other thing is useless. But I think that for the US is much more than just passing your exams. Like I know they take like research serious, rotations and all of that. So can I just go like in depth into all of that? What else besides passing your exams? What else is important for matching?
Okay. Yes. So besides exams, something that I think is vital for maybe someone who wants to apply is having an overview of what will be submitted, the CV you want to submit, what it contains. So generally it has your work experience, volunteer experience, research experience, publications. But like the main things are first you're going to put in your work experiences, then you put in like volunteer experiences, you put in your research experience, and then you put in publications. There are other things, but like those are like 4 things that stand out. So the work experiences are for people who are like have their provisional licenses or fully licensed international medical graduates, where you've done house job, where you're currently working, if you're in residency, those contribute to your work experiences. At the same time, US clinical experiences, they are a major part and a very significant booster for anyone's application. Because somebody inviting you for an interview, somebody employing you, they'll feel more comfortable if they think, oh, you are more familiar with the US clinical system. So it's like, okay, this person, everybody will go through an adjustment phase, definitely, because working is different from going through a rotation. But it's like just that thing of, oh, this person has had some US clinical experience and is better familiar with how things work. I think it's a very huge booster. So having US clinical experience contributes to your work experience. There are places that would request for a minimum of 3.
Interesting.
So that's like there are some places, but not like that's just some places. There are some places that it's just once you have US clinical experience, that's great. So that's one, work experience, and the next is volunteer. Like just different things, and a lot of times in our Nigerian medical school, there are a lot of things that we've done along the way that we may not even realize how much it contributes. Because at that time when we were doing it, we were just doing it because these are things that we're passionate about. So whatever charity organization you worked with, whatever, if you're a member of Red Cross, just whatever extracurricular activities that you've done and you're still doing, they contribute to your volunteer experiences. So that's one, and it's also a significant part. Like just being a well-rounded candidate, I think is very essential. Then the third is your research experiences. So I think that's even self-explanatory. Yeah, so just like your research experience basically also is something that contributes to your application. And because some people will be like, oh, I've not published this, I've not published that. Research experience, this section for research experience is different from this section for applications. So because there's some work that you're doing and it's something that means research can span over 5 years. So it's still recognized because it's a work in progress. So that's still a valuable research experience. What's very important is being able to talk about what you're doing, being confident about like, okay, this is what we're trying to do. Just being able to talk about the project you're working on. So you don't have to publish it for it to be on your CV as your research experience, especially if it's still ongoing. If you have publications as well, that's great. So those are major areas.
Okay, that's interesting. So like I mentioned earlier, my mom got matched on like her first attempt, like her first application, and she got matched. It's not easy. People should do it. So I would say, so there's still two things I want to ask, but I mean I'll just start with this. Like, what are your top tips for basically getting matched on your first attempt? Besides like some of the things that we mentioned previously, like getting your research and publications and all that. So if you're still that you're still in school, I think it's great that you're hearing this now because when you're in school, you have like so many opportunities actually. Because when you start working, your focus is just work.
Yeah.
But when you're in school, like you can start sorting some of these things out and making them a part of your CV even from now. So besides these things that we've mentioned, what else would you say really helped you? Because I know that you also have to rank where you want to apply for an interview or something like that. So like, what kind of helped? Do you think that there are some cities that are more IMG friendly, or do you think it was just a case of my application was strong enough, that kind of stuff?
So you said something before. I'm trying to remember what you said. Okay. I was trying to say something about it, but like, okay, maybe for medical students, I think you mentioned medical students. Honestly, that's a huge one. If you're in medical school and you're interested, I think that's the best place. Okay. So like if you know, especially if you're certain of what specialty, or if you have a very strong idea of where you're likely to go, where you want to go, team with people. I think research in particular is something that people struggle with towards the application. So if you already know that, oh, this is what I want to do, team up with people. When you are picking projects, and I think one thing we're fortunate to get in Nigerian medical schools is how it's even mandated for us to do certain research projects in school. So those count. But if, for instance, I was certain of what I want to do, if I'm a medical student and I'm certain of what I want to do, I'm funding, for instance, like what suggestions, when it's time for me to bring up suggestions as regards topic for us to work on and things like that, I would try to like research topic ideas that are in line with what I want to do so that it's able to tie in nicely for me eventually. Like I can suggest it if other people are receptive towards it, that's great. If not, then or just having the idea of okay, I want to do this, then you're able to tailor a lot of your activities towards that. So I think it's important. What I would say, like these things that I mentioned, actually for me are very, very important. Like I think they were very key because I was particular about having a well-rounded CV. Like for every section that I knew that this is required. This is from the CV for us to feel. I already knew that before, and then I tried to work towards them. So working towards those sections, ensure that you have things to actually show a range of those sections. I think this could present you as a well-rounded candidate. Apart from that, it's like when it was time to apply to places, taking time out to actually research each of the places that you're applying to. That was very important for me. Because and do you know places that are IMG friendly? Yes. There are tools. We have Residency Explorer, we have Match Your Residence. The Residency of Explorer is unpaid, Match Your Residence is a paid version. Yes. I didn't use that. I used Residency Explorer. So by the time in each state itself, you put in your own credentials based on like it would ask you, well, you're setting up your profile, like how many number of work experiences, your scores, number of research experiences, number of publications. So it puts that in, and then in each, what I did was looking at each state.
Okay.
There are states that are generally more IMG friendly than others. So by the time you want to go that, you're able to get that. So focusing on those first. Then looking through each state, by the time it pulls up the hospitals in those states, there's a coding thing where it shows you like how strong you are for the places that you are applying to. If you are maybe top 25 percentile, 50 percentile, or below 23 percentile. So you know what are my chances of like probably getting an interview in these places. So that's one thing. And I think something that helps in general is like maybe 40% places that like you should get into from your own statistics, like you should get into, and about 20 to 30% of places that you hope to get into, like you're aspiring to get into huge places like that you dream of. Even if for some of them it's like shooting, they may not take international medical graduates, but like never say never, honestly. Like they may still take you. So apply to some places where they don't take as many international graduates, your statistics may not be as strong, but just still like throwing your hats in the game and all of that. Then most places being okay, these places should actually invite me for an interview. And then they always say like a smaller section, a smaller percentage of they definitely should invite me for an interview.
The other ones don't want at least.
Yeah.
So ideally, how many places are you allowed to rank? I believe ranking is the word. How many places are you allowed to put, like, what's the word?
Apply to?
Yeah.
So application is as much money as you have.
I see.
Yes, for application. So when you apply to those places, some places call you back for an interview.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's those that call you back for an interview that you now rank. Because if a place did not invite you, you may have applied to a place, but once they don't call you for an interview, then you can rank.
So I hope you guys get that. You can apply to as many places as much as you're willing to spend. When you get an interview, you can rank. Okay, that's interesting. So I think the question I wanted to ask before that I forgot to ask was, what role does your score play in terms of like your applications? Because I've heard people talk about scores as well. They have to say something like, if you fail, then you can't rewrite it, or I don't really understand how you actually work, to be honest. But I know that there's something about like what you get and then your application or like that kind of stuff.
Scores matter, that's the truth. Scores matter, but it's not like that's not the one decisive factor. For me in particular, being honest, I did not get my target scores, which was one of the reasons why I was very focused on making sure that my application stood out. Like my application was well rounded in general. So scores definitely matter. There are places that will tell you they are taking a minimum of like 240 or they are taking a minimum of 220. There are certain places that will tell you that, there are certain places that will not. Even for places that may not put on your website that minimum score of this, they may filter people out based on certain scores. Sorry, one of the things that is very important, I forgot, letters of recommendation.
Yeah.
Letters of recommendation. Letters like having people write very strong letters of recommendation for you goes a very long way, because basically your first year is internship. So if for instance you have done internship in Nigeria, even though like more emphasis is placed on generally more emphasis is placed on people should get US people should get letters of recommendation from the US, people that they've worked with in the US, but at the same time, like I got some in the US, I got some in Nigeria, and people attested to during my interviews. That was something that also came up, like, oh wow, like you have very big letters of recommendation. So I think that's a very strong factor as well.
Application as well. Interesting. And I was going to mention that the decisions you do in the US, you do as a student, you do anyone after medical school?
The ones I did after medical school were teleportations.
Okay, so I mean, my point of asking that was just to say if you're still a student as well. Because like most medical schools do this thing where for 1 month or 2 you're allowed to like go anywhere. So if you have the opportunity, this is a good time to go outside Nigeria. to actually get it done. But if you don't have the opportunity, obviously it's not a draw that you're fair, but if you do have, it's definitely something that you should explore. So actually been speaking for over 30 minutes.
Oh, are you serious?
Over 30 minutes already.
Oh, wow.
Place to cap it. But I don't know, do you have any final words? Anything that I haven't asked, anything that's really important for me to know?
Anything that's really important, I would say that honestly, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and trust. Like, I'm a Christian, and so for me, of course, the first and foremost is trusting God and making your plans, making my plans with God. So if you're a spiritual person, I don't know, just lean on whatever you lean on. And for me, I lean on God. So that's a very key factor. And having a good support system, just surround yourself with people that believe in you, people that root for you, people that will pray for you, and just like keep pushing you when you feel low. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. If you guys have questions, you can ask them in the comment section. If we need to do a part 2, it might be over Zoom or something. Maybe a Q&A kind of part 2.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Myra, for being here today. You guys, please let me tell her thank you. When I asked her to do this with me, she not give me stress. She not give me stress. Like, everyone. So I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And I wish you the very, very best in that you start this new journey. Again, like I said, by the time you guys will be seeing this video, she's going to be years ready. So drop your congratulations. And well wishes, okay? So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about Inspired with Betty. If it's something I think should continue, and like what topics do you think that we should discuss about. I obviously have a few people in mind as well that I want to speak to. So let me know, Sha, what you guys think. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.